Okay, so basically I've repositioned my artillery here now. I'm trying to put more pressure on his lines, but I still don't really have the artillery superiority. I took out all of Prussia's artillery basically, but Spain still has a huge amount of artillery here, and it's being protected very well. Here, the Prussian player, Mr. Canada, is going to try to inflict some damage to my riflemen. I would say that guards or any platoon firing unit is a bad unit to chase riflemen with, because they don't get a huge volley off quickly. So like light line infantry is very good for chasing rifles, because you usually get at least 1/3 of your unit to get a shot at the riflemen before they retreat. So I guess that's just my own observation. That's an example where he didn't really get too many shots off. So meanwhile, I've taken this hill. I'm sort of sitting on it, trying to rest my cavalry, because that's still the key. Right now they're fresh. Both of my units are done resting, so I'm going to be swinging my army around, trying to envelop this contingent over here. I think our armies are pretty even. He has a sizable amount of line infantry. I don't think he has any long-ranged units by this point, so I've won the long-range battle somehow. His general is there. He has 1 unit of superior line, and maybe 2 units. What is this? Line infantry. I remember that he had another unit here somewhere. Well, anyway. So I swing around and I start trying to use my long-range superiority. Spain definitely has the long-range superiority here, and I think I'm going to have to start fighting them pretty soon. My artillery are, for the most part, unprotected, unfortunately. And I think eventually the Prussian general is going to swing around and just kill my artillery, interestingly enough. The Spanish guy starts trying to address my superiority with rifles here, and he just charges his, what are these, carabiners straight in, which I guess it makes sense. I don't know how valuable of a unit that is to his army, but I do rout it pretty quickly, and I don't take too many losses, so it's not a huge deal. I don't think he routs my unit. He's right to charge though, because they're not, my guards are not sufficiently numerous that I'm able to protect everything. Here I finally get a volley off, but okay, and there he routs. Here I believe Spain is targeting my hussars very specifically. I know after the battle, Mr. Canada was very much complimenting me on my ability to use cavalry, which was very nice of him. So I think maybe he was telling his allies specifically to target them because he was worried. I think, yeah, cavalry is definitely my area of, I wouldn't say expertise maybe, but it's definitely the area I like to use the most, because I don't know, it's a very flexible, fast unit. It captures my imagination a lot. Here he routs some of my riflemen by pushing forth quickly, and I don't retreat with them fast enough. So this creates a certain amount of advantage for him, but I'm able to shoot this unit in the back with my guards. So he pushes forth his lines here. And then here's superior line infantry randomly appears out of nowhere. I did not even know that they have the ability to hide in grass, but anyway, so I was going to charge in, but at this point I don't charge because I only charge if I know that infantry unit is engaged with one of my own infantry units. So now, when he repositions here to address my guards, then I charge. And meanwhile, I run away with my infantry units because they're just outnumbered here, and I'm trying to isolate at least part of his army. So here's this charge. It's a very successful charge because it's downhill. It almost routs his superior line infantry. And I just run down his line, which is good for me. And here I charge with my second unit. It's just, as soon as this unit leaves, this one charges in, which is good, again, because they don't get any volleys in, and I think it's a very good strategy with cavalry. It's the way it was used historically. It's just you did these waves, wave after wave, against an enemy line. Oftentimes, the cavalry wouldn't even actually physically hit the line. They would just, basically, they would charge in with the cavalry, including the hussars, and the horses were specially trained to stop right before they got to the enemy line. And when they stopped, the winged hussars or whatever cavalry unit would just give a volley at point blank range and kill a bunch of guys because of the distance. And other times they would have a very, very long spear, which they would throw into the enemy line, but the horse and the rider itself physically wouldn't come into contact with the line. So basically it was like a wear down strategy where you repeated this over and over again until you were convinced that the next charge would break the line, and then you would just charge with everything that you had. A lot of our battles were won with huge, I guess, like the Polish army had very small numbers, but they had a lot of very good cavalry, and they would defeat like a huge army. There's a lot of historical battles where that happens. If you guys are interested, I'd really recommend looking up the Winged Hussar and reading about it. It's a very fascinating story. Basically, here's where I think the battle ends for me. The Spanish guy sends two very strong units of line infantry in. And I was working on routing Prussia's right flank. And I do even route this unit just because they're so depleted. But by this point, my hussars don't have enough strength and number to overcome these huge full strength line infantry units, which are like at 118 people. And they're also tired, I'm sure. Yeah, they're at like 7 and 18. Yeah, that one's going to rout very quickly. So I'll be left with one unit and a bunch of highly depleted guard units and riflemen. And once my cavalry is gone, really my edge. I'm a decent player with infantry. Like, I understand the principles of the game, but I don't consider myself a very quick micromanager. I sometimes give off the impression of being a good micromanager because of how I use my cavalry. But I think it's the case that with cavalry you can do a lot less work for a much bigger effect, because like one charge with cavalry requires generally an opponent to reposition several units. Here he charges his general in to my guards to probably get more shots off me with his line infantry. Yeah, this is where his general goes around and kills my artillery unit finally. Yeah, basically my lines are falling now.